Chapter 14. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not, but knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. A wise man feareth, and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. He that despiseth his neighbor sinneth, but he that hath mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not err that devise evil? But mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoureth him hath mercy on the poor. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous hath hope in his death. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causeth shame. Chapter 14, very interesting things here. Lots and lots of things in every chapter. Chapter 14, verse 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house. In other words, a woman will invest in her home. And we're not just talking about the walls and all the rest of it. She will invest her heart in her home. She will make it a loving place, a kind place, a place where the children will want to be. And we're not just talking about building a house. It's actually building a home here. She'll put her heart and soul into it. But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. In other words, a foolish woman will destroy what she has by not appreciating it, not doing anything to make it better, not making it a loving place. Verse 2, he that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord. Fearing meaning respecting. This word fear is mistranslated, misunderstood so many times as though terror is what it means. And it has nothing to do with that whatsoever. It means respect. He that walketh in his uprightness will respect the Lord. But he that is perverse in his ways, the person who is negative, hostile, whatever, despises the Lord, is not interested in doing what is told, is in his own best interest. Verse 4, where there no oxen are, the crib is clean. Now what that means is the crib is where the food is for the ox. And oxen are not fastidious eaters. They tend to make a mess, as all cattle do. There's usually hay or grain or something all over the floor because they have to eat with their mouths. They don't have hands to put it in with. So where there are no oxen, you have a perfectly clean crib. It looks wonderful. But much increase is by the strength of the ox. In other words, if you're willing to put up with a little bit of the mess, you don't have to do all the work yourself. If you're prepared to accept the fact that people, and this is where the wisdom part on this is, if you're prepared to accept the fact that not everything you do is necessarily going to be perfect, and you're willing to work with other people who have strengths and talents and skills that may be more than you have, you can get a lot more done. If you insist on everything looking perfect and being perfect because you're going to do it all yourself, then you've got a lot to do. And you're going to have your perfection at a price. Okay? Verse 7, go from the presence of a foolish man when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. In other words, if you're with somebody and you come to an understanding that this guy just doesn't really know, he isn't wise. He may know facts, but he isn't wise. Basically, just leave him alone and go find somebody that you can listen to who is wise, who you can learn from. Verse 10, the heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. Even people who are happy know that they haven't been perfect. They know their own bitterness. They know the things they haven't done. A stranger doth not intermeddle, does not mess with somebody's joy. Because somebody is having joy in their life, they also know the bitterness that they've had. And a person doesn't tell somebody at the time when they are having joy about the tough times that they've had or remind them of bad things that they've done. Let them enjoy the good times that they have so that they can have them. The backslider in his heart shall be filled with his own ways, verse 14, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. Now, the backslider is somebody who doesn't do what they're supposed to, who makes promises and then doesn't fulfill them. He will always have excuses, is what this means. He'll be filled with his own ways. Oh, I couldn't do it because of this, and I couldn't do it because of that, and this person stopped me, and that thing didn't work out, and all the rest of this. A good man will be satisfied with his own efforts. He'll be happy with himself because he did what was necessary to get done what he promised he would do. Verse 15, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. You know, I see stories and websites on the internet, and they sprout the truth about this and the lies about that and all the conspiracies about everything. And there are people who believe every word of that. But it says the prudent man, the wise man, thinks about what he is hearing and whether or not the chances are that that is all absolutely true. And he thinks about it and considers it and makes his own mind up, doesn't necessarily believe everything people say. There's a lot of stuff that can look very interesting and absolutely be totally false.